Wow, it's been 3 months already. Where has the time gone? And it feels like such a milestone. Finally, we're starting to feel more settled in. This month, we had a lot of heavy lifting. We had to bring in some of the bigger items, such as our dining table and our first sofa for the attic. We were able to pick up our beef from the local butcher, and I've been really busy learning how to make bone broth and various new recipes that incorporate using the extra parts that we typically overlook. But nonetheless, they're still very nutritious for us, and it's great to learn new things. I started bringing in more life to the home, and we got our first houseplant. We also were able to start some seeds. I feel optimistic. The house is slowly transforming to be more us, and every day I feel purpose and joy to wake up and wonder what will be next. Welcome to This Blank Life and the 3-month update. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Elizabeth and welcome to this Blank Life. And can you believe that we've been living in this house for 3 months? I don't know where time has gone. Time is speeding up. I'm convinced of this. People are just like, no, it's because you're getting older. And I'm like, oh no, time is actually like one day, 1 month. It doesn't feel how it used to be. A month feels almost like a week now. And I've been reading different theories online, and some say it's CERN, some say it's because we're going to the new Earth. I don't know. Let me know what you think, if time has been speeding up for you in the comments. But for me, it has been flying by. I don't even know where this week went, but now it's already time for our 3-month update. And like I said, where did the month go? This month was it was a challenge this month. It was really emotionally heavy, just the world's energy. It was really lots of despair going on in the world right now. I mean, it's March. At least there's more sun. It's starting to feel a little more hopeful. But for me, I'm very sensitive, and just all the energy was just dense and heavy, and I was just trying to work with that. And so I don't know if anyone else was having a hard time this month, but it was a challenge to get some motivation. And so I think I first want to talk about what we did with the house and the positives and the negatives that we did this month. But first I just want to chat with you a little bit about how I should do these vlogs. I'm having a hard time with my camera because I started photography, so I'm better at taking pictures with my camera, and right now, honestly, I have a massive lens on it. I have a Sony mirrorless camera, and I think maybe I need to get a new lens. My iPhone is old. I don't want a new one. I don't want all that 5G stuff. So I have an old iPhone because for me the only upgrades that they have are a better camera, but I see people do really cute vlogs with their iPhone, and it seems much easier to just carry a phone because with my camera I can't even really selfie it because the lens is so heavy and I don't know if it's in focus. I don't have a little camera flippy thing, so that's just some of my things that I've learned from filming a little more, that I feel like a little sad that I can't fully bring you along with what I'm doing, or to get more spontaneous with just carrying my camera, maybe get a smaller lens. So all these things I've been thinking about and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. So I think for this video, I'm just going to try and explain some things, and I'll take some pictures, and then I finally learned how to edit a video and add some pictures in. So that was a big win this week when I was editing, and I actually learned how to add a picture. So this month, okay, so it was about half of February and half of March, and it's my birthday week coming up this week, so that's exciting. So I wore my little fish earrings that I got from my grandma. They were hers, so I was doing a little like fishy excitedness. But so this month, I think I'll start with some of the positives. My dad came with one of his friends with a moving van, and we finally got our dining table and some bigger pieces of furniture, and it has been great. I love my table. I ordered it in Amsterdam from a company called Artisan. It's called the Lattice Table, and I love it. I was looking for years to find a good table, And I wanted something sleek, I wanted something timeless, and this table, it's finally there. Now I realize I have to take a picture of my table as well to add that for you, but I love my table from Artisan, and it's great, and we had to ship it over from Amsterdam to the US, and it was at my parents' house, and I'm so happy. After, I think it came from Bosnia to the Netherlands to Wisconsin and now to our house, so it's traveled quite some way, and I'm so happy that it's here. And what else? So I discovered online estate sales, which was dangerous because we had to go and pick the stuff up, and I'm really competitive, so at the end you're like, oh, I want this piece, I want this, and then you're just like, oh no, and I think I was having some wine, and it was the end, and I was all nervous, and I was just bid, and I was in a battle with someone for a painting, but I got the painting, and I'm really happy I got the painting, and it looks great here because it's an impressionist painting, and it looks like men cutting down logs, and I thought it fit the whole lumber baron vibe. And I also got some vintage copper mixing bowls, and I was really happy about that, and some candlesticks. So we had to drive 2 hours to go there and pick all the stuff up while we were at my parents' house, because my parents were also having their own kind of estate sale to sell office supplies, so I had to help my parents out there, and then we had to drive, and then the same day we also had the moving van scheduled, so we went all over arranging things, and so thankfully it's finally just we have stuff in the house, we have the stuff that was already here, but it's making me feel a little more at home to finally see some of my things that makes me feel happy that I collected throughout the years. So that was a positive. Another positive was that my mom and her friend came to visit. I met some ladies in the town, so I was able to go have a little fika, which is Swedish, which I like the word, so I still use it, so I'll teach it to you. It's kind of a Swedish word. It just means when you go and meet people at like a little cafe, maybe have a coffee, have a tea, have a little cinnamon bun, I had a lemon bar, you kind of do that, you hang, you chat, and it's just like a little thing, like a little fika. So I had a fika with some ladies that we met. We met them actually at a cafe here in town, which is really funny because my husband and I, we gave up coffee and caffeine for a year, so we're just like, should we go drink some coffee and see what happens? So we decided to go to a cafe, and we're like, let's do it. And we were basically like, I felt like we were drug addicts while we were there, because we were just like drinking the coffee, and we're like, oh my god, this is some good stuff. And then we're saying like, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great, you're doing great too. It's like, oh, this is some good stuff, this is some good coffee, this is some great coffee. And we were just like, ooh. And we had, I think, like 4 cups just to really go for it. And coffee, caffeine is such a drug. If you're off of it and then you go on it, it's like, whew, hello, it is intense. I mean, I have goosebumps right now just like thinking about that coffee rush. And so it's been great being off coffee and caffeine. I wake up in the morning, period. I wake up in the morning. That, if you knew me before, that didn't happen. I would wake up in the afternoon or never. Sometimes I would sleep for 14 hours a day, but that's a different story. So we quit caffeine. I can share how we did that in another video, the process of it. It was painful, it was hard, it was a lot of willpower, but it's one of the best things I think we've ever done. So we met these ladies at the cafe when we were basically like sitting in the corner, like I felt like I was in a club in Amsterdam, basically. If you know, you know. So we're there, and we're wearing our really fun coats, and so these ladies compliment us, and they're like these really nice, sophisticated older women, and they invited me to go have a fika with them, and it was so much fun. I don't know, they're in their 80s and they're great. It was so much fun. I went for fika with them. I love talking to mature, I want to use a nice term here, not mature, but wise people who have experienced life. I think I get along better with that generation. I think secretly I am an 80-year-old woman, or just an old soul that is in a younger body, because we got along it was so much fun, you learn so much, and they have so many fun stories, and they just teach you about life, and I'm definitely going to go and have more fikas with them again, because apparently they meet every week, and so my stomach's growling, I'm not sure if you can hear that. So I'm gonna definitely get in on that fika group. And why am I speaking like a TV announcer? So I think I'm putting on a different voice today. I don't know, maybe it's because, I don't know, I had some tea today and I've been drinking this Amina Mundi herb tea because I said I quit coffee and I just got the new one. It's not new, it's new for me because I keep switching the powders up. I got the Mucuna bean, which is the dopamine bean, and I think it gives you a rush a little bit because I feel good. I just had my tea, so I'm dancing, and I think finally the heaviness of the past whatever 2-3 weeks is gone, and I feel like myself again. Because I think if you saw in my other videos that I was doing, I was just kind of like, I was having a little crying before I did those videos because it was just, I got in my head, and when I'm in my head, I can't get things out, and then I just get stuck in this cycle, like, oh, this is all shit, what am I doing, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, you get a little mopey. And so I was mopey. So we had some good things. It's finally, another positive is I can walk through the house in the dark and I don't trip over anything, and I'm starting to learn all the different light switches. We have these things with like 6 light switches, and they go pop, pop. It's like the old poppy ones, and then for the first 3 months it's just been oop, oop, oh, no, oh, no. And there's really weird switches. There's one that's like a master control, so it turns on one room in every room of the house, and if you don't know, you turn it on, then you go to a different room, you're like, why is this light on? And you try all the buttons and you can't figure out why the light is on, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's the master switch. And then it took us a while to figure out what was the master switch. We also had a random lantern with a red light outside, which I felt like we were running a brothel in Amsterdam when I see a red light, but apparently it was for Christmas. That's what the previous son told me. He put it in there to be festive for Christmas, but we still can't find that light switch. It's just on, but now it's off because we unscrewed the light bulb, but it's another mystery that we still have yet to figure out. And so I think those are some of the positives. I think the positives also, it's starting to feel, the 3 months for me is a really good milestone. I think the reality of your new situation finally hits you. I think it's a good amount of time to get comfortable with it, to figure things out, to kind of, for me it was to sit with, oh my gosh, what did we do? This house is huge, and to get comfortable with the thought of cleaning everything, because I'm really like, if I start cleaning everything, I will start the beginning of Monday and then finally finish Friday, and then I'll have to start back up again because there's a lot. We also, my husband, he's been doing such a good job in the basement. I refused to go down there. It was kind of creepy. We have like a circus theme pentagram room, which looks like a ritual room to me. And so it was a little gross. There's a little bit moldy on the wall. We also have like, I call it the dungeon room because it had a bed in there when we first toured it. It's in the basement and there's no windows. And it's just a little creepy, but now it's a little less creepy. Thankfully, my husband's been dealing with that. And so we've had a lot of good positives. Oh, another one is it's a positive. My mom, she bought me some linen, which I will put a picture here because now I know that trick. And it's really a beautiful bluish green color, which I think will go good in our bedroom because our bedroom also has this pink wallpaper like is behind me, and you can see there's a blue trim here. And so our wallpaper in our bedroom is not this eternal flame symbol, but it looks kind of like a cross. So it's a repeating cross pattern. And so our curtain situation right now is these paper pulley things, which one of them is ripped already because they're old from the 70s, they're yellow. We also have this really disgusting lime green polyester curtain, or in some of the other curtains we have this burgundy polyester. We took down a lot of these disgusting Walmart curtains. They're bad. And so I have to teach myself how to make Roman blinds, I think. So I have to buy the dowels and the pulleys. Probably next week I'm going to be working on that, so I'll have you join for that. And so I'm going to be making these curtains. And I'm really excited now that I started on the curtain train. I really want to make a drapery thing. I think it's called a swag and a valance for over the bed. I will also add some inspiration pictures either here We're here to show you what I'm thinking, and so I have to figure out what fabric to get. I found this kind of sketchy Indian website that looked like it had a lot of really good silks. So I'm also going to try and place an order for the silk and then create my bed valance, which you will also come along for. But I think first we're going to do the linen curtain shades, because right now we have to keep the bedroom curtains closed all the time because we can't open and close these old 70s paper yellow. They need to go, they're not good. So right now I'll put a picture as well how that looks with the bedroom with this lime green yellow thing going on. So it's not really nice to sit in the bedroom when it's always dark, so we maybe hang out there at night, but we have a lot of windows. I mean, behind you there's 4 windows that also need new ones. So I'm going to be making, my stomach's growling again if you hear it. So I'm going to be making Roman blinds for probably the next month. So you will definitely be seeing a lot of curtains and blinds as that goes around. And so let's go with some negatives now for the month. So we had our first rainfall, which was really weird in March, but it was one of those days where you get icy rain, and it was pouring. It was thundering, it was thundering and lightning, and there's just rain everywhere, and our whole driveway became an ice rink the next day because it froze. But since it was raining, we decided to go to the attic to check if there's any leaks since we're getting the new roof. Since our current roof, it was replaced, I think, in 91, 92. So it's time for a new roof, especially with asphalt shingles. So as I said before, we're getting metal shingles from Decra that look like asphalt shingles, but apparently hopefully will last our lifetime. And so we checked the attic and there was a leak in one of the closets. But luckily there was not a leak in one of the spots where we had a leak, but we have a leak, which is not cool. And also about the roof, we had to pay our deposit for the roof, and that was also not that much fun. We have that, and curtains apparently now, since we have a lot, and that's also why I thought about making them, because I thought it would be cheaper, and also we have a very unique, I don't know if it's unique, but we have windows that are 4 in a row, and they're all kind of narrow and long, so I think you'd have to order custom curtains anyway, so that would take a while. So we have our curtains, and we have our roof. And we have the leak, and also in the basement there's a lot of water coming, or not a lot, well I thought it was a lot. My husband's like, oh, this is nothing compared to the Dutch houses in Amsterdam. There you have like a swimming pool in the basement. I thought it was a lot of water. He was like, oh, this is great, we don't have a lot of water coming in. But I was like, oh my gosh, there's water coming in the house. So we had some water in the basement coming through like the bricks on the wall. So we have them on the bricks. And so we have that going on, which luckily I was at another estate sale, and I found this cement stuff that you need to use to fix the wall, and it was only $1. So I was like, oh, thank God. But that estate sale was not too good. I had just picked up some sewing patterns, a wedding dress, which I just thought was fun, either for the material or for the dress. Not too much stuff. I just went because I had to be in that town anyway, and so it was going on. It was half price day, so I was like, maybe I'll find some stuff. And the sewing patterns were only 25 cents each, so I figured that's nice to have around. Oh my gosh, that was my negative. I just remembered. So we've been having our washing machine saga drama. I don't know what to call it, something with the washing machine. So my dad, since he is retiring, he's getting rid of his office building, he needs to empty it out to sell the building, and he had an extra washer and dryer from the 80s, which I'm like, oh, thank God, I can use this old washing machine, it still works great. I don't have to buy a washing machine because somehow we have no washing machine. So I've been literally, when I do laundry, which apparently is not that much, I had to either go to my parents' house and do it or go to the basement, and we have these old washing basins. So I sit there like it's the 1800s, like, oh, I'm going to go do my laundry. Oh, I just destroyed that accent. So, but it's really like, I feel like I'm a little like washing basin maiden down there, washing sweaters. I think that's the only thing I did, wash in some dish towels because they needed to be cleaned. So we had our washing machine when my dad and his friend came to help us move in, And he brought a dryer, which we already have a dryer. I'm like, Dad, we don't need another dryer. Where are we gonna put a dryer? So he brought the dryer in first. And so we have 2 dryers. One is literally sitting in a hallway, and you have to like wiggle around it to get through because it's just there, and I don't feel like moving it yet. So we have our hallway basement dryer thing, which is probably a fire hazard, but you can wiggle if something bad happens. So nothing bad will happen. But we have that, but we have our washing machine, which first of all, getting this washer and dryer down our staircase, I will put that video clip in because I was filming, so I didn't have to do it, but my dad, my husband, and his friend, they were really having a hard time, so I'm grateful that they did that, and they let me film. So we had getting it down the stairs, which we have really narrow stairs, not as narrow as Dutch stairs, but fairly narrow servants' stairs. And so it has a landing, and then it's kind of, even getting we also brought a sofa to the attic, and getting the sofa up there, I thought it was just going to be stuck in the staircase, side note. So the same spot where the sofa got stuck, the washing and dryer kind of gets stuck there, so you have to wiggle it around and then go down to the rest of it. So first it was getting the washing machine down the stairs and the dryer down the stairs. So we did that, and then we were ready to set it up, and then the drain pipe, it just cracked off once we get it down there. Like, oh no. So my dad told me to get some special tape, some Teflon tape, and this like pipe fix tape to just tape it. And I'm like, will that work? He's like, yeah, it'll work. So I get the tape, I tape it. My parents come over this week, so I just have been, because it was 2 weeks ago, I think we got the washing machine. Just like, okay, it's not working. We tried to fix it, my husband and I. We got the tape, we taped it, and then we had the pipes to have, or the 2 cords, the connectors to get the hot and cold water in to the washing machine. Well, we put it on, and then water is going everywhere. So like, neither of us really like dealing with water or appliances, so we're just like, okay, well, we'll just forget about this, and it'll be the basins. So we continue with the basins, and so my dad comes this week, and so we go to the hardware store, we get the little cables to go in, I have my nicely taped up drain pipe, I don't know, the thing where the water comes from the washing machine out and into where it goes. Clearly I'm not a plumber. So we get the new cords, I don't even know what they're called, the thingies that connect the water thingy to the inside of the thingy that goes into the machine. We get those work, those don't leak, so I'm like, yay! And I'm like, finally, the washing machine is working, we put some dish rags in, and we're doing a load. Moment of truth, the duct taped drain pipe. So I think where I taped it, it was fine, but then it has other cracks in it, so it's like spraying water everywhere. My dad's like, hold it so you can see where it is. I'm like, I don't want to be electrocuted because there's water everywhere and electricity. He's like, hold it. I'm like, this is my final moment while I'm holding on this pipe with the electrical, and I know that I don't think we have, or maybe it's grounded in the basement because it's new electrical there, but I remember the house inspector telling me like, ooh, this is dangerous electricity. It doesn't have the safety circuit, so if something bad happens, you'll just stay being electrocuted. So that little memory came into my mind. I'm like holding this pipe while water's spraying everywhere in the basement room. Luckily, we have a drain pipe on the floor of the basement, which is also good for the leaks that were happening there, so it goes there. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's spraying everywhere. And so that's where we're at with the washing machine. So it is, again, back to the washing basins. And so I think I need to get a new pipe to replace the old pipe. And then hopefully we will have a washing machine, because I wanted to save some money and use this perfectly good washing machine that was free. And now I'm being stubborn, and I think my dad is also being stubborn. So we will figure out this washing machine. Stay tuned, because that's been our washing machine story, journey. The journey to get these 2 dryers and the washing machine, and none of them are really working fully. But we have the washing basins and we have a rope. So thank God for how we used to do things, which is also what I'm learning usually is you just have to do things yourself and not rely on machines yet again. So I'm really getting close to my clothing, or I will be when I eventually run out and I need to go wash them. That's why I like wearing all these sweaters, because you can wear them for quite some time without washing. So let me think about any other things that have happened. I think it's definitely been a win that I can walk around in the dark of this house. I still need a cell phone flashlight sometimes when it gets really dark, but I'm starting to memorize how many steps we have, so I think that's a win. And you know that the house takes care of you, you take care of the house. It's a symbiotic relationship where we're just having a thing going on. And that's been really great, and I'm happy that I feel more comfortable and confident in the house. My kind of initial, oh my gosh, how big is this house? What are we going to do? We've never lived huge house. How are we going to handle this? That kind of subsided. It's still there. I still feel like a lot of pressure every morning to keep it looking nice and to maintain it, especially in the summer that's coming up when we have to figure out the garden and the lawn and all these new things that will be, and the storm windows. So that's all staying tuned, but it's really fun and it's been great. And so I think I'll leave it at that because I've been talking for a while. So that's just our 3-month update. And please let me know what you want to see in more of the house. Anyways, I am rambling and I will let you go unless if you're still with me. So it was nice to chat with you again. I'm really excited. I keep saying I'm really excited every time I talk to you, but I am really excited. And yeah, nice. So see you next time, and goodbye.